Good morning, everyone. This is Leanne from Of Love and Shiplap and the founder of Sublimation graphics and tutorials here on Facebook. If you're joining us on YouTube, be sure to come check out our Facebook group. You'll find the link in the video description and at the end of this video. Ooh, Jasper wants to say hello as well. Maybe. There he is. Okay. Today I am going to be showing you guys how to sublimate the sweatshirt blankets from Walmart. Now, I know it's sort of at the end of the season. These were an item that a lot of people were picking up before Christmas. I just didn't have time to be able to get to do one, but I was able to grab 3 of them. I got 2 purple and 1 navy for my sister and brother-in-law and niece. So I'm excited to show you guys how to do these today. What's nice about these blankets is that they're really nice and thick. They feel like sweatshirt material, so they're soft. They're like fuzzy soft on one side, as you can see. And, you know, they're like the knit on the opposite side, and they're 100% polyester. So one of the things I want to point out, if you did get your hands on one of these blankets before they went off the shelves, is that this is a perfect example of explaining to your customers that when it comes to polyester versus cotton, a good polyester shirt, your customer isn't going to be able to tell the difference. We've all worn sweatshirts. Sweatshirts as a whole are almost always 100% cotton. Of course, some of the athletic ones are polyester, but most of the ones that we're wearing are cotton. And if you were to touch one of these blankets right alongside of one of your brand new sweatshirts, you would not even tell the difference. I stress all the time that it's very important to differentiate that for your customers, because when people think of polyester, a lot of people just think of athletic gear and like the silky, which is like microfiber, I guess, or not microfiber, the moisture wicking material. A lot of people think of like that. They think of plasticky feeling, you know, old style Halloween costumes. But the reality is that polyester, depending on how the fibers are spun and how it is ultimately woven, can feel a dozen different ways. It can be fleece, it can be micro suede, it can be microfiber, it can be the microfiber that, like that cheap microfiber that's very like static, clingy and shiny and doesn't absorb anything. It can be a faux linen feel. It can be dinner napkins at a restaurant, which don't absorb anything. It can feel like cotton. It can be athletic gear. And then it can even be like the material that you feel for hiking boots and backpacks. So there's just so many different variations of polyester that when I see people say that, oh, my customers only want cotton, the reality is that you just haven't provided your customers with the right shirt so that they can step back and say, this shirt feels really soft and comfortable. I like wearing it. This is a good choice for me. And the reason why I say that this is so important is because when it comes to sublimation, using polyester is always the best option. Although there are lots of options for sublimation on cotton in terms of mediums that you can use to achieve results, it's not going to be as high quality as something that is polyester. So take the time, specifically if you're in the garment selling niche, and find the right materials for you. Because this blanket is a perfect example of the fact that polyester 100% can feel nicer and better than cotton. And polyester washes and lasts longer. I mean, I know I spoke about this in videos, but probably 95% of my wardrobe is polyester, and most of it is softer than cotton, and it has held up so much longer to repeated washings. I know you guys don't usually get like a full body picture of me in these videos, but in a nutshell, my wardrobe is not very expansive. It's a lot of black. It's like 90% tank tops and yoga pants and like these cover-ups, and almost everything is made out of polyester. I wear them endlessly. Like I said, I don't have an expansive wardrobe. I probably have like 10 outfits. I'm kind of a basic woman in terms of that. But anyways, my point is that I would choose everything that I own and wear it over a cotton shirt any day because it's softer, it washes better, it feels better on my skin. So the misconception that cotton is softer and better is just that. It is a misconception. And what it all comes down to is educating your customers on different feels of fabrics. So anyways, there's my little spiel about the whole cotton versus polyester thing. So these blankets, when they were first on the shelves at the beginning of the season, so at the end of fall, early winter, they were $8.88. So this is a pretty good price point for buying something that you're going to resell. It's 50 by 60 inches, so it's a great, you know, snuggle up on your couch and Netflix and chill, or I guess Disney Plus and chill for those of you who are excited about that happening. And it's just the perfect size for that. And you can easily resell these for 30 bucks if you do a nice size graphic on them. When I say a nice size, the designs I'm doing today, I did 12.5 inches wide by like almost 17 inches tall. Actually, I'll show you guys how big that is. So you can see it takes up almost an entire 13 by 19 sheet. If you're wondering, these are Debbie's skulls from Debbie Does Design. She's the co-admin of Sub That. So if you like the skulls that you see on the blankets I do today, be sure to head over and grab her skull bundle. I think it was $8.99. And you get all of these really cool hand-drawn skulls by her significant other, Brent B. Brent is insanely talented. So be sure to go check those out. I did put the link for that in the description as well. Anyways, so you can easily sell these for $35 if you're in a cheaper market, and I have actually seen people sell them for as much as $50 or $60. Depending on what you're putting on the throw, that's really a very realistic price point, and these take no time at all to do, so you can easily profit off of them. While you're not really going to be able to get them for this season unless you grab a few on clearance, because again, seasonal items, so once they're gone off the shelves, they're gone, and that of course is the risk you run anytime you choose to pick something up locally and sell it. But I do like to always show you guys items a couple of times a month that you can pick up locally, just because it's nice to have that option. It's nice to have the convenience. I mean, I'm sure you guys can relate to exactly how I feel, which is that it gets frustrating and annoying having to constantly buy stuff and pay shipping. So if you can find better ways to save or easier accessibility, it's always in your best interest. So although it might be too late for this season, you can always keep an eye out for these to return next season. Based on their popularity, I would assume that they're going to come back. Certain items like this, they tend to make a reappearance every year at the same time. So just something to keep in mind for a year from now. All right, let's go ahead and turn you guys around and I'll show you what we're working with today. I'm only going to be doing one of these blankets because I just realized I did not charge my phone accordingly. So the joys of live videos. Anyways, so once again, my transfer is printed on my Workforce 7710 using printer jack ink and printer jack paper. I absolutely love this paper because it has higher ink release and the colors always look vibrant. You might have to do a little trial and error depending on the temperature of the item that you're pressing, but if you are getting too dark colors, then that means you need less time. Because again, this ink does have very high ink release. So we have our transfer. I've already trimmed it. You don't have to trim your transfers. I like to, just in case there's any phantom ink on the edge, because occasionally that happens and there's nothing more frustrating than finding that magic imaginary ink line on your substrate after you've pressed something. But also I just find it easier to line stuff up when it's, you know, trimmed closer. We have our blanket, of course. This one is supposed to be navy. You know, it's navy sweatshirt. And then our handy tools for keeping everything straight, our staples, tape measure, and laser level, and of course, lint roller. And you can use adhesive sprayer tape if you choose to. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge because of the size of my design. I won't be able to press it. I don't think I'll be able to press it in this direction. Oh, I guess I can. All right. Maybe it won't be such a challenge. I guess we'll find out in a second here. So you can really put the designs anywhere you want on these blankets. I'm going to do mine on the corner. And I'm going to do it about, well, I don't know. We're going to measure. I didn't really plan this far ahead. So I didn't plan how far I was thinking it would be. I did plan that I wanted the design to line up pretty nicely with the seams. So if I set that like that, and I'm just gonna measure from the corner. All right, so we're gonna go about 8 inches. So with that in mind, I need to pull this way up and back into there. And I want to try and make sure that everything is centered and at the right angle so that our transfer is correct. I'm just going to measure really quick. Ow! Sorry, burned myself. Look at that, 1.5 years into sub that, and I've managed to not swear every time I burn myself. Some of you are probably really happy about that. So, all right. I think that is about as straight as we are gonna get it. So I'm just gonna tuck that down in there. And we're gonna go ahead and lint roll. Of course, if there was lint on this, it probably wouldn't be very noticeable because of the color and texture of the fabric. But nonetheless, always a good idea to lint roll any type of fabric. We want to pre-press to get that moisture out. Pre-pressing and removing the atmospheric moisture helps ensure that you hopefully won't get ghosting. Because remember, one of the leading causes of ghosting is when that moisture is pushed out of your fabrics from the high heat of your press, and then it causes those fibers to shrink, just like when you take your clothes out of the dryer. I'm going to adjust my press to 400 degrees. You could probably easily do these at 385, but since they are thicker, I'm gonna go with 400. I also wanna make sure I've got medium firm pressure, so I'm just gonna see how we are with that. There we go. Now we want to, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Correction. I am actually going to leave this at 385, and the reason why, normally on thicker polyester substrates, you can do 400 degrees, no problem. But the type of sweatshirt material that this is, the way that the dye is done, it could result in dye migration from high temps. So dye migration is when you press something and then you take it off the press and you see discoloration. It might just look like subtly lighter. That is called dye migration. And that happens with polyester fabrics anytime they're put under high temps. So I'm actually adjusting this to 385 just to be safe, because there are no more of these blankets. So I don't want to screw it up. So I pre-press for about 30 seconds. And now all I have to do is line up my design. Because I lined up the blanket crease with the edge of the press, it's actually going to be super easy for me just to center this between my two stitch points. I know you guys can't see that as well. But that is what I am doing very quickly. And come forward. Okay. You can use tape or adhesive spray if you choose. I am not going to worry about that today. In general, I don't use either unless it's necessary. It's really definitely up to your discretion. Some people really prefer to. I find that I'm just careful, and my my transfers don't typically shift. I've only had maybe 3 instances of ghosting in my entire time of sublimating, and 2 of the times it was because I didn't pre-press, and the other time it was because the transfer shifted. So it was like a very silky shirt when that happened. Anyways, so we're going to put our protective paper on here. This is just in case any ink escapes out the back so it doesn't get on our press. And with that, we're going to go ahead 385 degrees for 60 seconds. I'm really looking forward to how this blanket comes out. Like I said, I haven't done these before, and they were a pretty hot item. I saw a lot of people getting them, and I just happened to be at a Walmart on the other side of the city that had them, so I was pretty excited to be able to give them a try. I'm using my 16 by 20 heat press, which is working out very well for this size, and I actually find that this works out well for most of the substrates that I do. If I had known there was a 16 by 24 when I bought this one, I might have gotten that instead, just to have that few extra inches, but nonetheless, this one definitely works out great. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, or if you're watching us on YouTube and haven't joined us on Facebook, be sure to do that as well. We have got just a couple of seconds left, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my heat glove here. I'm gonna hold down the press lid when I pop the handle, just to keep it from jumping, because that can cause your paper and transfer to jump. And I'm going to peel that off. Ooh, that looks so good. Okay, first, sorry, I got excited. First, I just want you to check out the awesome ink release. Really, really high quality ink release. That's what I think is so impressive about Printer Jack paper. And ooh, I'm gonna put this over the chair so it'll be a little easier for you guys to see how awesome these colors look. I'm actually gonna have to take you off of the tripod. And there you have it. Once again, the skull is from Debbie Does Design Co. She's the co-admin of Sub That. So be sure, if you like the skull, to head over and get those from her, because they actually do look awesome. And she's got some with like flowers on them and stuff like that. And if you're wondering about the font is called Next Custom. I picked it up on DeFont. So if you guys are looking for that, and then I just applied my gradient fill. Just like that, I've created a personalized blanket with a nice big size design, all in cost about $10.50. And you can easily sell this for a minimum of $35. And like I said, I've seen people selling these upwards of $60. If you have questions or comments, definitely leave them below. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.